Okay, I just want to show this off before I start modifying the world too much. But this is my custom terrain. Um, it's a little bit messy, so I'm gonna have to. There is some cleanup that has to be done. But basically, you take the output of a program called Gaia. Yeah, basically it makes some height maps, some other stuff. I use the data to make biomes, and here, let's go to the one that I'm actually looking at. Yeah, so here you can see, like, this is all of the biomes from the world that we're looking at right now. Um, in fact, you can see that in Journey Map now. Oh, I haven't generated the top right corner. Um, so you can see all of these details that have come through. I have some more complicated terrain that I want to show that I can work with. The I wanted to make something really realistic for this. So this is sort of a Mississippi River. Um, I don't know. This is sort of like a Michigan or Wisconsin area. Sort of what I base this on geologically. Um, it's like a little bit hilly, a little bit influenced by that like meteor that landed a billion years ago, where there's like folded terrain on one side of the river and then more flat terrain on the other side of the river. Sort of the idea. So there's a little bit different geology on both sides. But as you can see, like the process isn't perfect quite yet. I'm still working on developing it. So there's still some weird water glitches every once in a while. Um, and yeah, so this is all handmade basically. Um, there's a lot of Gaia takes a lot of work to get good at. So I'm hoping that that's the thing that I can offer, is that I've put in the 40 some odd hours into Gaia that it took to get at least this competent at it. Um, the mod that I'm using to import the height map and the biome data and stuff, it's really good. I need them to fix some stuff. Like the first time, whatever the first world you open is the world that it uses the data pack from, which is a really stupid glitch. Um, but so I can't go in and open another world to show you right now. I will save that for the compilation at the end. I want to put little scenes in every single one first, but um, kind of want to just put a train diorama in this maybe. Um, I did want to put in. I really wanted to put in like a nice, beautiful little water wheel scene too, but I don't know where that's gonna fit in because the you need um some pretty intense water height variation for that to work. I mean, maybe I could put it up here at this lake or something. Um, yeah, I could put a dam here and then but that's diagonal. That's gonna be interesting. I am gonna use the create mod for some aesthetics. Because animation versus Minecraft, that you can move blocks, and so I want to sort of acknowledge that by having some trains or maybe some windmills. But this is what the world looks like unaltered. So this is basically untouched. What comes out of my process that takes a couple hours to do. So I'm gonna put in little details like this little. I like this little sort of hotspot. I just wanted to show off the terrain. Basically, if all you wanted to hire me for was to make these canvases, I would do this all day. And if there are people better at treating the canvas than I am, like I totally get that. But um, this is the software that I'm familiar with. And what I can offer is that I can make very complicated like even like I don't know if you know it. I'm gonna point some things out. I put in that if the it's too wet, the trees don't go all the way there. So all of the floodplains are are, at least of the rivers, are treeless. Also, the trees don't spawn on slopes that are too sloped. I don't know. It's got to fix some leaks. Got to fix some Minecraft water jank. Um, that doesn't come for free, unfortunately. But I'm really excited about this canvas. I just don't know what I want to do with it. Maybe I'll make like a logging operation. Maybe I'll build a logging operation with some trains and whatnot. Hello and welcome back. Got beautiful train flying through here. Flying through the bridge. I ended up settling on a lattice, what it's called, structure for of like scaffolding for the approach, and then I just did a steel bridge. I just said let's just do a classic steel bridge covered in the oxide paint. We got these big pylons. I was going to make them out of stone and stone brick, but then I saw this limestone, and you know what? It has this weathered variant that works really well for splashes. And, do I have any regrets? I don't think I do. So I did change my mind that I'm not going to use any modded blocks except for a couple key places. This could easily be stone though. I just liked the color more. You asked for someone that understood color. There we go. I made a decision for color reasons. And then I just made these beautiful long train tracks that go throughout the world. And then if I go up here, I should have installed a fun elytra mod or something so I could elytra around. Over here we've got a sawmill and a barge. So I wanted to show that I'm good at making man-made terrain, I guess is what I'm trying to prove here. And so I think water is a really hard thing to manage to make look realistic in the game. So over here we've got like a weir just holding up sort of the back amount of water, and then because there was a step here between the lake, the output of Gaia is sometimes such that a lake is slightly sloped because there's a gentle flow of water from one side to the other or something still. So, and then I decided that I would put a dam here. I think if you see this in the previous part of the video, you'll see that this is all my doing. I wanted to make it look like it scoured when it flooded. I wanted to make it look like it did stop here, and then they embanked this area. I say the fictional people that made this, they like made this embankment, like they added rocks to the top of it, and then decided to put the full dam here. It had to be at an angle, which was interesting. I really like this design. It does evoke like these, like a not quite a cobblestone dam, but yeah, anyways. And it's got a good slope going. And then I made a sluice that goes over here and then powers a water wheel. And because I have Create installed so I can do the trains, I decided I'd animate a little sawmill. There's some cut down trees. You can see where the trees have been dragged. And then, theoretically, you would have logs come down here, and then you would float them down to the barge. Maybe I can show that a little bit, actually. If I put just some... that's kind of fun. Yeah, so the idea is they would come down here to the barge. I didn't know what to do for details on the barge, because barges are just barges in the time period I'm sort of snapshotting, so I kept it fairly simple. I didn't want to put too much time into that. It was mostly about the sawmill here. was what I put. This area is what I put the most time into, I think. Um, but this is only a 1 day build, so I also do kind of work fast. But I think there's one more feature area. Let's just get good looks of the terrain as we go. I have Distant Horizons installed. If you don't have it installed, you should install it. It makes everything very pretty. It just lets you see farther. It like does level of detail stuff. Um, Over here we've got a log cabin. It's log cabiny. It's got a little bit of a interior. But I saw a picture of a log cabin that I really liked online that had this goofy roof. So I sort of mimicked it. These are rubber logs. Again, this could have been spruce or something. I just liked the color more. There's a little garden with a little guy, little spearman. Kind of like the idea that I like the personalized scarecrow. I don't know. I liked it more than the generic scarecrow is all I'll say. But do have bone meal so we can. These are pumpkins. They just haven't grown yet. I know there's probably a command I can do. Actually, there probably isn't, now that I think about it. Unless I have one in my mods that lets me grow plants. But, yeah, just a nice little garden. Maybe I should have made it grow slightly more before I showed it off. But, yeah. Oh, I also like this detail. That these are the limestones from the bridge. I like the idea that there were just some leftover limestones, and this guy got to plunder them and make a chimney for his log cabin. I say his. It could be a woman. I don't know. Could be a non-binary person. Who knows? Here's me just showing off a little bit of the generated terrain. Again, I say generated. I generated it. I don't know how to explain that. Like, actually, let's show off Gaia. I alluded to it earlier, but let's just show off what I did. So this is how it works. So I went and I made a height map for the general vibe, the general contours of the area. Then I did some shaping to it and added some purlin noise to it. That also, I think the higher it is, the more noisy it is. And so this is a good place to start. This is a good place to start. I'm going to lower this. But what really hits it is these fractal terraces give like an initial weathering, and then the erosion does most of the work. But then I added lakes and rivers, and then I combined everything together into a thing that makes it look pretty. This is all just pretty making. And then you get an output. I think I have trees turned off right now, but this is where I did the tree calculations. So that's what the tree calculations look like of where trees should go, but I think in the final render I took that out so that I didn't have to contend with spikes in the Minecraft world. Yeah, so this is the full workflow for getting that final result. And then I could also further tune things in Gaia, but I was just feeling it out with Photoshop and Paint.net. Oh yeah, also there's a charcoal pit. I didn't mention that. Anyways, that's this world. I think I'm gonna generate a couple more worlds to show, but they won't be furnished like this one is. I think I'm just gonna do some terrain generation work, and if there's like a silly river or something, I will probably fix it as much as I can pre-generation, and then and then post generation, I'm not going to touch any of these really. I just want to show you the kinds of terrain that I can make with my process. Okay, so I guess I can show this off. This is a new generation, so I just generated this. It took me a couple hours to figure out the best way to do this. I improved my. It's one of those things that's like you improve the workflow and it takes more time, but next time it'll take less time. I really like this. This is based on. Oh, I closed Gaia. This is based on a mountain that I twisted. That's not like a super. The fact that I twisted isn't super impressive. I think what's more impressive is actually getting it into Minecraft. But it's just got a cool vibe. Yeah, it's I started out by generating some normal mountain terrain in Gaia, and then I was like, well, we could make this go crazy, go stupid. I also the rivers I think worked better this time. Even more than the first time. I think there's very little water spilling out places that need to be like resolved. Then yeah, I love this twisting terrain. I have it so the mountain is the least twisted thing. I might change that now that I'm looking at it. Is the mountain being more twisted might be even cooler. If the mountain was the most twisted thing instead of the least twisted, we'll play with it. In fact, we'll just cut to me doing that. I think I'll keep all the settings the same, vis-a-vis the I like this mega taiga design. I was originally gonna do this as like a tropical island, but should we riff on it and do a tropical one for the jacket? Yeah, let's do it. We'll riff on it. We'll make it tropical, and we'll try again. Okay. Okay, to just show a little bit more process. Notes: the rivers aren't deep enough, so I need to change the way that I generate the rivers. They're just not deep enough. But that's the only thing that I don't like about this. I think I really like this design. It's just this big swirling island thing. I think it's pretty good. I love there's a bit of, I generated it with a little bit of a slant to the rock. So there's a gentle bias, as it spirals. And, I really like these concentric rings. I think they work really well, actually. A little bit of uneven water because of the way that it generated with the coast, but it's okay. All of this can be ironed out pretty easily with Axiom, or even World Edit. You could just say cut off all the water that's above a certain block height in regions. But yeah, so yeah, here's a tropical twisty island design that I quite like. As you can see, it only took me like half an hour to do that change. So where I changed all the biomes around to make the mountain twistier, regenerated everything. So I could go through and adjust the rivers and all of that stuff, but I would rather show some builds off before I go, because I have to edit this video and I want to get it sent in at a reasonable time. So, oh, here's a good example of the river working. This is when the rivers were developed. Yeah, ooh, this valley's so fun. Pumpkins, hello. But yeah, I do really like this design. I am big fan. Oh, the way that the way that the rivers all pile in is kind of cool, actually. Yeah. I don't know what to say. This would be I think that just having the option to say, you know, to either put in a height map or give me some parameters. I mean, I could draw the height map myself too, but like, just being able to have an I don't know. I feel like this is a good thing to have on your team when you're looking to do beautiful terrain. Is that I can make Minecrafty terrain generated pretty easily, and if you get someone that knows how to code uh, biomes, which I could also learn how to do myself if you wanted, um, I could make custom biomes for everything. Um, I don't know. I think it's kind of exciting. So I'm gonna pull up some builds now, just show off my building prowess. It's gonna be in a bunch of different worlds and servers and mods, but I tend to just build for a couple weeks in a row, and then I usually play a lot of survival when I build, but because I like form coming from function. I think it inspires me to build better things, but yeah, let's go over to some other worlds. It's kind of funny. I'm getting more lag here than in my modded world I've been playing in. This is my survival world. It's on a server, but it's, I'm the one that runs the server. Um, just some, I like to say, again, I like form to come from function. So, some of these more esoteric designs are because of the. Where did that slime go? That's weird. Um, some of these trees are mine. Some of them are from. Crap. Juno P. That's who it's from. So I think this tree is mine, and I know this one is mine because it's the smallest. And I think this one is mine. Yeah, that sounds right. I think I made 3 of them. Maybe that one's not mine. I might have modified it so I could add the swing though. This is in a very unified world in terms of aesthetic. I didn't really settle on one. I was just practicing building. So this one I was playing with the illusion of detail. Was what sort of the idea was here, was that I needed it to look like it had more detail than the 1 meter block could do. So there's a lot of intricate things with fences and walls and stairs. And then this was playing with color a little bit more. This is based on a build from maybe also Juno. It's like lightly inspired by it in terms of the palette, and maybe the bottom form, but the top form is mine. Yeah. So here's a cherry tree I made. I tried to make it look like a vanilla cherry tree. In fact, I think maybe at the top that even is a vanilla cherry tree. I don't know. But I wanted it to look like it was a vanilla tree that had gotten really big, instead of these, which look like they're monstrosities. Oh, I also made that one. I made that tree. Down here I made these boats. Like me a good boat. So now you can see that my barge wasn't just, it was just me being lazy, it wasn't me being bad. Got this fruit barge, because this is a pumpkin and melon farm in here. So got a fruit barge. This little bridge here. I like infrastructure. I really like infrastructure. Over here, that's a piston door. I mean, I don't need to. I can show you that it's a piston door. This is a stolen. I didn't design this. I just built it in survival, and I think that's still pretty cool. And here's my little ghast house for the happy ghast. He likes it cold, so I made a snow globe for him. I needed a door that was big enough for the happy ghast to get out of, and that was the easiest one to build, I think. Where is it? Yeah, so right here, I started building this. This is kind of a cool idea. It's not done yet, as you can see, because also, again, I'm building it in survival. But, yeah, it's just like a converted oil rig is sort of the idea. So we've got, a lot of fun colors. Like someone had graffitied like every inch of the build. Um, I don't know. It just shows that I know how to work with like shape and form, I guess. As well as to do detail. Oh, I love this crane. This was so fun. This was such a fun build, and I'm really happy with how this turned out specifically. Um, but yeah, this is how I do like really complicated builds. But I don't have anything that I think looks nearly as good as this, even in progress. So, yeah. Also, it's a Guardian farm. I don't know if that was obvious. Oh, I realized this is just a funny story time. I realized that you spend a lot of time at a project building it. So why not build a little project to go with the big project, so that you have a nice place to stay while you're working on it. So I built this little like dinghy barge thing, in survival, and it's been my house for a while as I've been working on this giant stupid build. Um, yeah, and then there's is there anything else in this world that's interesting that looks good? There's this area. This is sort of just a utility zone, but it looks cool. I mean, I think it looks cool. Um, that all of these are various fully automatable machines. Mostly tree farms and dirt converters, and here's a bone meal farm. But I think I made it look fun. It's obviously still a work in progress, but think about vanilla Minecraft. You gotta light every square inch up, so I've got a lot of lights on the ground. These are kind of cool, I guess. These are like space-themed greenhouses that have flying machines that harvest the stuff. Again, some of the stuff is unfinished because I just ran out of resources. I think that's all the stuff that I've built in this world. I mean, I have like a billion hours in Minecraft. I don't even want to know how much. Oh, wait, I forgot this entire... Oh my gosh. I forgot the best part. This is the storage system. Oh my goodness, how did I forget? This took forever. Yeah, this is the storage system. It stores all the objects in multi-item sorter chests and stuff. And it looks like this! Yeah, there's some unsorted stuff, and then up here there's probably maybe put a croquet table in there, I don't know. Croquet table? Oh my gosh. I should have said pool table or croquet course? I don't know. Here's unstackable item sorting, and it sorts, this is my addition, is that when it sorts a fish out, instead of it going into a tiny holding cell, it goes into this little aquarium. Yeah, this is all, this is ridiculous. I know this isn't what you're asking for, but like you wanted to see what the back of this looked like. It's pretty ridiculous, but it's like a computer. I like contraptions a lot. But yeah, here's some more realism terrain. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, and here's a nicer treatment of the swamp idea. I didn't like show that off properly. I had a slightly swampy area in the test world, but anyways, here's a nice little swamp. The terrain's a little weird here, and again, it's in survival, so I can't just like use Axiom to paint all of this in. But I think it's cute. I think it's a cute idea to do these cattails, and I think I saw maybe B-Dubs is the first person I saw do that. Yeah, it'd be cool to work with you guys. I don't know. I have to edit the video. Maybe I'll come up with a better outro when I edit the video. But I don't know. I hope that this was slightly impressive. I hope especially the terrain stuff was impressive, because that's what you were asking about. Okay, I had one more in me. Yeah, I just made this. I just generated this because I thought it would be pretty, and I was right. I just made a nice, recently flooded, I'd say, based on the fact that the river's overtopping its banks. But you know, heavy downpour. Uh, heavy downpour river delta in the desert. This is like where I live in Utah. Um, yeah, I don't know. I just think it's cool. I think it looks really pretty. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I'll just end you off with a nice. I don't know. We can put down a boat. And just have a nice time going through the terrain I made. So again, if you want realistic looking but still Minecraft coded terrain, I'm your guy. You know? I think I've made that pretty clear. I can also beautify the terrain, but I don't know. I think this is in and of itself remarkable. As a I don't know. I'm really proud of this stuff, so it took me a while to figure out. Anyways, that's that. It's the end of our journey. This beautiful flooded river. But yeah. Thanks for watching.